In short, really what this bill will do is require the state to spend more time quantifying charging needs, an actual number of chargers needed for a number of underserved driver segments in California. So when we think about low-income communities, disadvantaged communities, rural communities, ride-sharing drivers, people living at multifamily housing, segments of drivers that have additional hurdles in front of them when it comes to accessing charging. So our view at FLO, or our philosophy has always been we should be measuring everything in terms of uh, progress toward our goals. The state has broad infrastructure deployment goals for 2025 and 2030. This really takes it down a layer and says, okay, let's get beyond the statewide aggregate goal. Let's start thinking about these individual driver segments who we know are going to need a lot of help accessing infrastructure. And so it's really just meant to be a tool to see if we're on track to adequately serving these driver segments with enough charging, really in a data-driven, scientific way. And if the state finds that we're not on track to meet those goals, then hopefully it will create more space for a conversation then on how do we refine or expand existing policies and incentive programs to get more infrastructure in these areas. So really, it's our hope that this is going to help us measure more effectively if we're adequately serving various populations with enough chargers, because we ultimately know that's what it's going to take for EVs to become mainstream. Is drivers need access to chargers everywhere, and if you have these segments that are facing extra barriers or hurdles to deployment, then we need to put more resources and time and energy and strategic thinking into figuring out how to break down those barriers. So really, this bill is just kind of meant to be the tip of a spear of a much, much longer, bigger conversation around these issues. And we're looking forward to working on it in the California legislature.